Let's move on to the looming shutdown in D.C. Republicans are now reportedly leaning toward a short-term funding measure, but Democrats are threatening a shutdown if a DACA deal on the dreamers in this country is not included in the spending bill. Fox News politics editor Chris Stirewalt said last night that he expects to see a shutdown and warned both sides of the consequences.
I think we're going to have one. I think we're going to have a little one. I think this is a hot stove moment. You have to sometimes let lawmakers touch the hot stove and burn their hand. They say, well, we'll shut down. We won't do it. And then they do it. And then you see where the pressure really lies. And in this case, there's pressure on Republicans, big pressure because they control the White House. They control both chambers of Congress. It's their job to get it done and run what's supposed to be the ordinary business of government. But on the other hand, there's pressure on Democrats. There are not a lot of voters out there who are going to be happy if ordinary functions of the government are faltering while we're engaged in a fight over what are still, no matter how sympathetic their cases, people who are in the United States illegally.
Hot stove moment, says Stirewalt. Congress has until midnight on Friday to pass a budget. Joining us now to weigh in, former Speaker of the House, Fox News contributor Newt Gingrich. Mr. Speaker, do you think we see a shutdown, and who pays the political price if we do?
I think you probably don't see a shutdown. My guess is that they'll find some way to have a 2-week extension, 3-week extension. I really think the Republicans ought to be urging all of the dreamers to go visit the Democrats. You know, when the Washington Post, of all papers, is editorializing that the Democrats ought to take the deal, there ought to be a great deal of pressure building on the Democrats. This could all be solved. We could have a year-long continuing resolution, which from the Pentagon standpoint is really important. These very short-term shutdowns or very short-term CRs are extraordinarily expensive to the Pentagon because they have to replan everything, shift things around, change contracts. It is really very bad for national security to go through a series of 2-week kind of continuing resolutions. So there's a real virtue for the country to getting to some kind of agreement. And I think the point that Stirewalt makes is right. To go to the country and say, we are so concerned about 600,000 or 700,000 people who came here illegally. I'm very pro-dreamer. I have been very pro what the president did. He put the ball right in Congress's lap. He said, I'll sign it. He clearly wants to sign it, but he also wants something for it. And the Washington Post said, look, if it takes the wall to get the dreamer fix, the Democrats are crazy not to take the deal. And I think it's very hard for the Democrats to go to the country and say, we are so upset about this. First of all, they're upset about the fact they want it for nothing. They're not willing to compromise. They're not willing to budge. So they want what they want, and they're not willing to work with anybody else. That's a pretty hard position, I think, for them to sell.
Right, literally, and I want to bring the general in here, Newt, given what you're talking about military spending. If you look at it from this perspective, you're most concerned about roughly 700,000 people in this country versus the safety of those serving this country and protecting our freedom versus the safety of the nation versus our military readiness. I said this earlier, Newt, that the Defense Department has operated, and this is to your point, under continuing resolutions or these stopgap spending measures that limit the Defense Department's flexibility 36 months since 2010. It was fewer than 9 months in the preceding 8 years. Unacceptable, General.
Yeah, Newt's very familiar with this. You know, the continuing resolution certainly actually cost the Pentagon money, and it helps to hollow out the capability that the United States military has. And the other thing that's such a burden to us, and the Congress has got to assist us here, and that is the budget caps. We've got to remove those budget caps, or what President Trump is telling the American people will never happen. We are not going to rebuild the military unless we get away from CRs, continuing resolutions, and we remove the budget caps.
No.
Well, look, General Keane is exactly right. And let me remind everybody, we have so weakened our military. People don't realize this, but we've been fighting a war for 16 years in a number of different countries. We have had all sorts of games played with the budget, including the sequester. Meanwhile, our competitors, China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, all of them are systematically getting stronger. I would argue, and I'm not talking to Jack Keane about this, so I'd be curious to get his reaction. I would argue we are today becoming more vulnerable compared to our opponents than any time since 1942. And if we continue for another year or two down this road, we are in big trouble. Remember, the problem in Hawaii was not that there was a mistake and people got an alarm, and therefore we're all going to look at this mistake. The problem in Hawaii is if the North Koreans fired 3 or 4 missiles at Hawaii, we would be saturated and we couldn't stop them. We have to rebuild our defenses to get back to safety, and people need to understand we are not today as safe as we should be. And I would argue, as a historian, this is the most vulnerable we've been since 1942.
I totally agree with what the former speaker is saying here. The military is the smallest it's been in 75 years. The technology gap has closed with Russia and China. They have much the same advanced technology that we had that gave us a decided advantage. The readiness of our forces, that is our training and preparedness for war, is absolutely in the sinkhole. That is what is driving mishaps with pilots. That's what's driving problems with our ships at sea, and the fact that we only have 5 Army brigades ready for combat out of 58. Those are headlines, and the American people clearly have got to understand what a dangerous situation this is, as the speaker is pointing out.
And we're gonna talk more about that later in the hour. Newt, really quickly, so you don't think there's going to be a shutdown, and do the Democrats give in on something to get this done?
Well, first of all, I don't think there'll be a shutdown just because, in the end, I think the Democrats will find enough votes. I mean, if you're from one of the states that Trump carried, that's 10 Democratic senators up for re-election. Do you really want to shut down the Defense Department and try to run for re-election on that and do it on behalf of people who are here illegally? I think they'll find a way to keep the government open. I would say the odds are less than even money that they'll get a deal this round, but more likely that they will get a deal in the next 6 or 8 weeks. And the DACA will be part of the deal. The wall will be part of the deal. And I think hopefully we'll get a year-long CR to get some stability in the Defense Department.
Newt Gingrich, it was great to see you, Newt. Maybe these lawmakers will think about somebody other than themselves and whether they like or dislike the commander-in-chief. Think about your constituents. Think about the American people that need the protection, whether it's keeping people in this country or protecting the safety of this entire nation. Great nation. You're a great man, too. Thank you, Newt. Great to see you.
Thank you.